Hey folks, Captain Mikey, Sawgrass Fishing Charters out here in the beautiful Florida Everglades. Guys, before I get started, I really want to give a huge shout out and a great big thank you to everybody that's subscribed to my channel so far, everybody that's liked it, and all those comments. I'm having a blast going through the comments, especially the ones that you guys are giving me ideas for future videos, things that you want to see. That helps me because all I really want to do is teach you all how to be better fishermen, how to be a better angler, and just how to have a better day out there and all that. So knowing what you really want to see is going to help us all out in the future. I apologize, I haven't had too many videos as of recently. I have been down with the flu, it happens, and I've had some engine problems here on the Foxy Girl. Well, that happens too. You know what BOAT stands for? Break out another 1,000. Yeah, trust me, I know what that's all about. Well guys, I do also want to give a quick shout out to one of my good subscribers, Patrick. Patrick from Bay State Angling. He's left a lot of great comments out there. He's a great young man. His future is bright. He's gonna start up his own channel there. We'll hopefully make some great videos for you guys, and he's using a lot of my ideas to help him out there. So Patrick, I wish you all the best. I know you're gonna do well, young man, out there. Well guys, I'm gonna talk about a method that I love to use. It's my all-time favorite method, and honestly, this time of year, it's probably what I'll fish with all day long. This time of year, the bass have stopped spawning. They finished up. Now they're on the move. They're sitting outside of those beds, sitting just along the edge of the weed lines, slightly deeper water, but they're moving and they're going after faster lures. So one of the best ways to target those bass, for me, in my personal opinion, is to use a paddle tail swim bait. Paddle tail swim baits, almost every manufacturer makes them. It's a soft plastic swim bait, not the big hard plastic or wood fish imitating ones that you see out there. They are a soft plastic swim bait. You can cover a lot of ground with them. You can move them fast. You can skip them through the weeds. You can do a lot of reaction fishing where you can run them really fast, burn them right across the top of the grass and the lily pads. The bass really love that. They'll come up and just slam on that. Or you can do what I was doing today, and I'm just slow rolling it. I'm going through the sawgrass, finding the little pockets, putting it, and just slowly rolling it, stopping, letting it sink, letting that tail do its little dance. And that's really seemed to be what was triggering the bites out here today. Now, I'll show you real quickly what I'm talking about with a hook, guys. It's an extra wide gap hook. It's got a spring keeper, if you can see that there. All right. And now this one does have a belly weight. These VMC hooks have a nice shape to them. They don't get caught up in the weeds very easily. They're kind of contoured to the bottom of your lure there, so it doesn't impede that. So when the fish bites, the hook's able to come all the way through. And you're going to want to use, when you're using a larger lure like this, you need a larger hook. Don't worry about it. The bass have a big mouth. They can take any size hook you're going to throw at them. But I use a 5/0, maybe even going up to a 6/0 on that. But it's real simple. Take your little screw keeper here, and the little point on the very end there is where you want to get right in the very middle of the nose of this. Get that in and screw the lure itself. Don't go ahead and try to twist your hook around. Just screw the lure on, all the way on, until it's facing the proper way. All right, and now you can see where that hook goes through. You're gonna want to pinch that lure forward so it goes there, so it's not stretching on the lure very well. But it keeps, that spring keeper keeps a hold of that lure real nice. It doesn't impede the action whatsoever. Nice and perfect. Try to rig that nice and straight. As you can see, there's a little groove in the belly. Try to go right through that groove, and it'll have a groove on the top that kind of hides the hook point there for you. All right, so it's nice and weedless there. But the straighter that is, the better of an action it has. If you have it off to the side, come poking out the back side of the back a little bit more, it tends to have a goofy action, and a lot of times they recognize that. Well guys, had to turn the camera off because a little bit of rain, and of course, go figures, start catching them once the camera's off. But anyway, as you can see, there's a bass, there's a swim bait. It works. Wasn't the biggest guy, but we know they're here, we know they're hungry. Let's keep going. Very simple retrieve, cast it out there, let it sink a little bit. As it sinks, that paddle tail's moving around. You get a lot of strikes on the fall. But other than that, just a slow, simple roll. Just bringing it in nice and slow. If you feel yourself hit a little bit of weeds, once you pull through the weeds, stop, let it sink again, and you get hits like that a lot. But try it out. Try different methods, different speeds. You know, stopping and pausing, twitching it a little bit, going faster rather than slower. There's all sorts of different methods. Just let the fish tell you what they want today. So there are several methods of fishing a swim bait that you can do. What I'm doing right now today, and what seems to be working today, is more of a slow roll approach. I'm fishing along the sawgrass edges, finding the little pockets, casting it up deep in there, and just slowly reeling it back in. Just letting that tail do its thing. Stopping every once in a while, and of course that's when you seem to be getting a bunch of strikes. But another method that a lot of guys like to use these paddle tail swim baits for is reaction baits. And by a reaction bait, what they'll do is, whether it has a weight on it or not, they'll find those lily pads and the tall grass areas and just burn it across the surface. Those bass that are sitting down below they call it reaction because they don't have that time to think about it. They just snap at it and smash at it, you know, especially if they're hungry. Reaction bait fishing, or reaction fishing, is a lot of fun. It's almost like a topwater, but you're doing a much faster retrieve on it. Not what I was looking for. Whew, that's a big bowfin though. Not always bass. Everything loves the swim bait. That was a big bowfin. That thing had to weigh close to 10 pounds. That's it. It's a very simple method, very effective method. Paddle tail swim baits, guys. You gotta try them. Like all soft plastics, these swim baits, you tend to go through a fair number of them. They are just a soft plastic. They get beat up. You know, maybe 1 or 2 fish per lure, maybe. But they're not that expensive, and you don't need, almost every manufacturer makes a variety of these paddle tail swim baits. They're all good in their own way. But you don't need to go and spend $10 a pack. They're usually $5, $6 a pack. You get 5 or 6 of them. Try to match your colors to your waters that you're fishing. If it's a darker water, stick with the darker colors, like blue, blacks and blues, like June bugs, things like that. If you're gonna, you got a little more stained water, go with the green pumpkins or the watermelons. Clear water, start going with the clear, the lighter colors, whites and silvers, shad styles. One thing to try to do too, folks, when you're setting the hook on a paddle tail swim bait, they're generally, it's a heavy gauge hook. It's a heavy hook. It does require a bit more power to put it in, but you don't want to have to jerk that thing straight up in the air. Just the way it's set in there or whatever, you want to try to set your hook with a long sweeping motion. That tends to work best. That gets at, like I said, the bass themselves are generally going to grab onto this thing all in one bite. They suck it in. If you set that hook right away, like that, you tend to pull it right out of their mouth. All right, you feel that hit, give it one sec, go back and give it a nice big long sweep. And that's generally going to be the best way to hook those bass. He wasn't going anywhere. See what I mean? Hard to unhook. Those VMC hooks are super sharp, but even a smaller bass like this, he inhaled that. That almost went through his eyeball. There's no messing around. No thump, 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 thump. That was a solid thump, and he had it. Gonna need me a new lure now. Well, folks, what a beautiful day. We didn't catch any big ones, but we sure caught a lot of them out here. And that's what a swim bait is fantastic for. You can cover a lot of area. You can cover it quickly. You can cover it slowly. There's so many different methods to fish it. Go ahead, get yourself a pack of paddle tail swim baits. Gambler Big Easies. That's my recommendation out there for you guys. But really, if you can't find those, just about any swim bait's going to work for you guys. Try it out. Casting in every different type of cover you got out there. Move them fast, move them slow. Let the fish tell you what you want out there. Now let me show you quickly what I was using out there so you do know. Of course, I always use my trusty bait casting reel. I like to use one with a little faster ratio on it. This one's got a 7.1 to 1 gear ratio on it. That way I can really move it fast if I've got to. But if I want to move it slower, I just slow down. I got a little more control with it that way. Pair that up on a 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. That 7-foot rod with that fast action tip's going to be able to whip that lure, cast it a longer distance out there, so you can really cover more area on that. And it's also got enough strength that if you got deep in that cover and you really got a bass buried down in there, you can pull them out with that fast action, with that fast ratio reel. Pull them out of that cover as quick as you can. Get them out there. That 50-pound braid will pull them right out of there for you. Out there. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that today. I hope you learned a little bit of something, and I hope you pass it along to your fellow anglers. That's just the best way. If you like this video, go ahead, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, folks. Alright, leave a comment on something else you'd like me to make a video out of, something else you'd like to see, maybe something you can't quite figure out on your own, or you're always wondering how they do it. Go ahead, ask me. I'll do my best to get back to every one of you and make a video on every single one of your comments out there. I promise that. Well, guys, the sun's getting down. That means I got to start headed back to the trailer. I got about a 7-mile haul here. Maybe I'll make a nice little video, see how quick the Foxy Girl is. But that's it. Guys, I appreciate everything. I appreciate all those comments. I appreciate you stopping by to check this out one more time. Captain Mikey signing out, folks. The future is bright. Keep those lines tight.